What's up guys, I'm BTC. The layout for the hero select screen on the PTR has changed, and with it, it brings a pretty obvious problem that Overwatch currently has. Can you guess what it is? Those of you that wanted a new defense character, well, unfortunately got some bad news for you. There will never be another defense character. I'm sure most of you guys were able to pick it up right away when you first saw the new hero select screen. Back when the characters were broken into 4 different categories, it was a little less obvious because there was kind of this distinction between the offensive and defensive categories, even though realistically there wasn't any actual difference. I mean, Junkrat was used plenty of times on attack. Widow was actually better on attack than she was on defense. But unfortunately, it also created a little bit of confusion because back when Overwatch first came out and people were learning the game, I was in some matches with people who genuinely believed that you were supposed to use only offensive characters while you were on attack, and you were only supposed to use defensive characters when you were defending. And I've had a couple of matches where people were actually upset that the team wasn't doing what it was, quote, supposed to do. And I can only assume that new players and more casual players are still experiencing the same kind of thing. And it just ended up creating more confusion than it was worth. But let's head back to that hero select screen. So first of all, yes, it does look like a mess as it is right now, and it does need to be restructured. I don't want to talk about that in this video though. I actually have a brand new series that's going to be starting on Monday that hopefully, if it does what I want it to do, will actually help improve the game overall. So make sure you check it out. Back on track though, looking at the hero select, you can see there's way more damage characters than there are tank or support. In fact, tank and support combined is still less than the total number of damage characters. And this is a pretty big problem because the most balanced lineups are always going to have 2 tanks, 2 support, and 2 damage. I realize that there's going to be exceptions, triple tank, triple support, all that stuff, but the most balanced lineup is always going to be 2-2-2, especially when it's just random people thrown together. The thing is, people already don't like playing tank and support. People like playing damage because they want to hit stuff. They want to be able to get all of the flashy play of the games and stuff like that, and people are generally more inclined to play those damage characters. So when you have a very limited pool of tank and support characters, you're just making that problem even worse. At the moment, I'm not sure what they're going to add for Hero 28, but I really think Blizzard needs to put new damage characters on hold until they have at least 8 tank and 8 support. But more than just adding those characters, I think they need to kind of revisit how they treat them, because I think Brigida's a really good example of this. And I know people hate the shield bash and all that sort of stuff. I don't care about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how her Inspire passive works. You heal your team by hitting the enemy team. And I think Blizzard needs to add more of that, because then that kind of works into the whole thing that I talked about earlier, where people like to hit the enemy. They don't want to just stand there with their shield up, or they don't want to just stand there holding left click on a teammate. They want to be able to hit stuff. And if you make it so that when you hit the enemy, it gives beneficial effects to your teammates, those kind of mechanics would make a player more likely to use the character. Even if it was support or tank, it wouldn't matter, they still get to hit stuff. So a good example would be kind of like a blend of Zenyatta, Moira, and Brigida all kind of mashed into one. So let's say you can put some sort of marker on your teammate, like you kind of link with them, and then as you deal damage to the enemy, it then gets converted immediately into health for that teammate. So it's kind of like Brigida, where you have to hit them in order to deal damage. It's kind of like Moira, where you kind of take their health and convert it to health, but it's a little bit like Zenyatta because you link and that health is instantly given to them. So that support player could be someone who's been playing damage forever, but now he gets to hit stuff, and as he's hitting stuff, he's healing his team. Let's use another example, this time for a tank. So rather than just simply providing a barrier for your team, what if the tank, whenever you hit an enemy, it would provide a small amount of damage resistance to anybody that's in a small area around you? So you hit the enemy, and everyone around you gets an extra 2% damage resistance. You hit them again, and it gets another 2%. So it would go to 4, then to 6, then to 8, and it would probably cap out at something like maybe 10 or 20%, somewhere in that range. You don't want to go too nuts with it because damage resistance can be really powerful. But again, the idea is you help your team, you defend your team by hitting the enemy, doing the thing that players want to do. So what do you guys think about the upcoming heroes? Would you want them to put damage characters on hold and only add tank and support? Or would you prefer to just have a healthy mix of all three? Let me know down below. Also, I realize that my Hero 28 prediction video still needs to come out, and it should be next week. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out my Discord server. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter. The links for that stuff are down below. And remember, always blame the controller, because it's never your fault. Also, special thanks to all my Patreon supporters for helping to make this all possible. If you'd like to see what kind of cool rewards you can get for supporting the channel, check the links on screen and down below.